the deadliest U.S. air tragedy since 2001, claimed 67 lives in a devastating plane crash in Washington, D.C. This catastrophic event unfolded against a backdrop of escalating international tensions and domestic political turmoil. The tragedy immediately became a focal point for partisan conflict, with former President Donald Trump seizing the opportunity to launch a scathing attack on his political opponents. He baselessly blamed Democrats for purportedly declining standards in air traffic control and even suggested that diversity, equity, and inclusion (DE) policies at the Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) could have been a contributing factor to the disaster. This inflammatory rhetoric was met with swift and sharp condemnation from Democratic leaders. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries denounced Trump's statements as a shameful exploitation of the tragedy, accusing him of peddling lies and conspiracy theories while showing a profound lack of respect for the grieving families. He directly challenged Trump's characterization, highlighting the baseless and inflammatory nature of his accusations targeting people of color and women. Jeffries' response underscored the deep partisan divide and the intense emotional reaction to Trump's controversial remarks. The details emerging about the passengers paint a picture of a diverse group of individuals, many of whom were Americans, while others held citizenship in several other countries. Reports indicate that at least 14 figure skaters and coaches were among those on board, adding a layer of profound sadness to the already devastating loss. The specific identities and nationalities of all the passengers continue to be investigated and released incrementally by the authorities, a process that underscores the sheer scale and complexity of the aftermath. The investigation into the cause of the crash is underway, though early indications hint at the possibility of human error and a series of cascading events, potentially related to air traffic control coordination and communications. The intricate investigation will require meticulous examination of air traffic control logs, flight data recorders, and witness accounts to ascertain the precise sequence of events leading up to the fatal collision. This multifaceted and complex inquiry will likely take significant time and resources to fully unravel the cause. Concurrent with the aftermath of the air tragedy, the ongoing conflict in the Middle East dominated global headlines. Following the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, a significant development emerged: the release of 8 hostages and 110 prisoners. This prisoner exchange was a pivotal moment in the conflict, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the widespread devastation. The release of 5 Thai and 3 Israeli hostages marked a particularly significant humanitarian outcome. However, the handover in Khan Younis was marred by chaotic scenes, highlighting the fragility of the ceasefire and the volatile nature of the region. The release of Zakaria Zubeidi, a former leader of a Palestinian militant group, further demonstrated the complexity of the situation, with his release being greeted by jubilant crowds in the West Bank, while simultaneously raising concerns and highlighting ongoing tensions. Meanwhile, the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza continued to worsen, with the UN's Secretary-General, Antonio Guterres, urgently calling for the immediate evacuation of 2,500 children requiring urgent medical treatment. Doctors warned of an imminent risk of death for these children in the coming weeks, emphasizing the desperate need for immediate humanitarian intervention and the scale of the ongoing medical crisis. The escalating death toll from the Israeli offensive reached at least 47,460, according to Gaza health officials, a number that a Lancet study suggests might be considerably higher, estimating a potential 41% increase. The 15 hostages released since the ceasefire began on January 19th represent a small measure of progress amidst the ongoing human cost of the conflict. Across the Atlantic, economic anxieties intensified as America's major trading partners braced for the possibility of sweeping tariffs imposed by former President Donald Trump. Trump reiterated his threat to impose duties as high as 25% on imports from both Mexico and Canada, setting a February 1st deadline for compliance. His stated reasons for these potential tariffs include demands that Mexico strengthen its border controls to curb illegal immigration and that Canada halt the flow of fentanyl into the United States, despite evidence suggesting that only a minuscule portion of the fentanyl supply originates from Canada. These threats underscore the potential for significant economic disruption and heightened trade tensions between the U.S. and its closest allies. This situation highlights the unpredictable nature of Trump's economic policy and the risks of protectionist measures on international trade and global economic stability. This potential trade war, coupled with the humanitarian crises in Gaza and the ongoing geopolitical instability, creates a complex and volatile global landscape. Beyond these major international events, a series of other significant incidents captured global attention. The discovery of 13 bodies in a boat off the coast of St. Kitts and Nevis, following the discovery of 5 bodies in a skiff near Trinidad and Tobago, highlighted the ongoing risks faced by migrants attempting perilous sea journeys. The health of acclaimed musician Patti Smith raised concerns after her collapse during a performance in Brazil, attributed to a severe migraine. Geopolitical tensions escalated in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where the Rwanda-backed M23 rebel group's southward advance from Goma spurred fears of a major regional war. A rescue operation was underway in Japan to free a truck driver trapped for 3 days inside a sinkhole. In Samoa, Prime Minister Fiam Naomi Mataafa criticized Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s anti-vaccine stance, highlighting the deadly consequences of vaccine misinformation in light of the 2019 measles outbreak that claimed the lives of at least 83 people, mostly infants. The seemingly disparate events, from the plane crash to the global conflicts, highlight a complex interplay of human fallibility, political maneuvering, and environmental challenges. The unfolding situations in various parts of the world reflect a world grappling with a multitude of challenges, requiring collaborative efforts to mitigate risks and crises. Discussions about the changing Arctic landscape, with the thinning ice opening up the Northwest Passage, add another layer of complexity to global geopolitics and resource management. Even seemingly mundane items like sticks are discussed with depth, revealing the simple joys and imaginative potential. These seemingly small moments highlight the everyday experiences contrasted sharply against the weighty global matters in the news. The sheer volume of significant events underscores the need for continuous monitoring and analysis of the ever-evolving global situation. The ongoing challenges underscore the complexities and interconnectedness of modern global issues.